Hi, my name is Susan Aikens, and I live 197 miles north of the Arctic Circle at a place called Kavik River Camp.
When most people think of Alaska, they imagine beautiful mountains, icy rivers, and perhaps the northern lights shining in the sky. But for those who call this land home, life is not only breathtaking, it is also extremely difficult. The television series Life Below Zero, which began in 2013 on the National Geographic Channel, gave audiences around the world a chance to see what it truly means to survive in one of the harshest places on Earth. The stars of the show are not actors playing roles, but real people who made the wilderness their home. Their daily routines are not about luxury or convenience but about survival, facing freezing temperatures, hunting for food, and protecting themselves from dangerous predators. This unusual lifestyle fascinated viewers, and the people we saw on the screen quickly became household names. But time changes everything, and the stars themselves have gone through struggles, triumphs, and personal changes over the years. Now that the show is wrapped up, fans are curious, how are the stars of Life Below Zero doing today, and what challenges or successes have they faced since stepping away from the cameras? One of the most recognizable faces of the series is Sue Aikens, a woman who has become a symbol of independence and strength. Born on July 1, 1963, Sue spent years living at the Kavik River Camp, a location 197 miles north of the Arctic Circle. The camp was more than just her home, it was also a stop for hunters, travelers, and researchers, and running it meant endless work. Sue had to repair machines, secure fuel, collect water from the river, and always be on guard against wolves and bears. For fans, she was not only tough but also deeply human, showing both her physical strength and emotional vulnerability. One of the most terrifying parts of her story goes back to 2007 when she was brutally attacked by a grizzly bear. After dislocating her hips and tearing open her scalp, she lay injured for 10 days before anyone found her. Somehow, she fought back, killed the bear, and survived. This story alone made her unforgettable. Later on, viewers also saw her softer side, like when she mourned the loss of her granddaughter Drew, showing that even in the wilderness, personal pain can hit just as hard as physical survival. Today, Sue no longer films for the show, but she still lives in Alaska and runs her beloved camp, welcoming visitors who want a taste of the wild life she has built. While Sue's story was about independence, the Hailstone family showed viewers a very different side of Alaskan life, one centered around family, tradition, and teamwork. Chip Hailstone, born in 1969 in Montana, first came to Alaska as a young man and never left. There he met Agnes, a native Inupiaq woman who had grown up surrounded by traditional survival skills passed down for generations. Together, they built a large family with 7 children, raising them on the banks of the Kobuk River. Their lifestyle meant hunting, fishing, tanning hides, and teaching their children how to survive just as their ancestors did. Fans admired the family's ability to keep traditions alive while also working as a modern unit. But life wasn't always easy for them. Chip faced legal troubles after being accused of making false statements against a trooper, which led to him serving several months in prison. Despite this setback, the family continued to live off the land, and their story became one of resilience. For more than a decade, viewers watched the Hailstones face freezing winters and celebrate small victories, like successful hunts. In 2024, Chip announced that Life Below Zero was officially ending after 23 seasons. He thanked fans for supporting them through the years and said that while the show had ended, their way of life had not changed. Today, the Hailstones remain in Alaska, hunting and fishing as they always have, proving that for them, survival is not just for the cameras, it is a way of life. Another familiar face was Jessie Holmes, who brought energy, determination, and a love for dog mushing to the series. Originally from Alabama, Jessie came to Alaska in 2004 and quickly became fascinated by the tradition of dog sledding. He worked tirelessly, training his dogs and entering races like the Yukon 300 and the Kobuk 440, which he won in 2017. His reputation grew, and in 2018 he earned the Rookie of the Year award in the legendary Iditarod sled race. By 2015, Jessie was also appearing on Life Below Zero, where fans saw him living with his dogs, braving blizzards, and racing across frozen rivers. However, his journey wasn't without hardship. In 2021 and 2022, he suffered serious injuries from accidents, forcing him to step back from some activities. Despite these challenges, Jessie never gave up his passion. In 2025, he made history by winning the longest sled dog race ever, proving that he is still one of the toughest and most skilled mushers alive. While he may not be on Life Below Zero anymore, Jessie remains an important figure in Alaska's racing community, admired for his courage, determination, and love for his dogs. Then there's Andy Bassich, another unforgettable star. Andy grew up in Maryland, but unlike many people who dream about living in Alaska, he actually made the move in 1980. He settled along the Yukon River, where he built a lifestyle around hunting, fishing, trapping, and running sled dogs. Andy worked as a riverboat captain for 2 decades, taking travelers up and down the river, but most of his life was spent in isolation. In 2003, he met his wife Kate, and together they appeared on Life Below Zero, raising sled dogs and facing the long winters side by side. However, their marriage began to fall apart, and by 2015, they divorced. Later, Kate revealed that she endured verbal and physical abuse during their relationship, which shocked fans. While Kate left Alaska for good, Andy stayed behind, continuing his solitary lifestyle. His life took another unexpected turn when he badly injured his hip while working with a snow machine, leading to a dangerous infection. He had to leave Alaska for treatment in Florida, where he spent 6 months recovering. It was there that he met Denise Becker, a trauma nurse who became his partner. Andy eventually returned to Alaska with Denise by his side, continuing to live in the wilderness but with a new sense of companionship. Today, he remains in Alaska, showing that even after pain, injury, and controversy, he still chooses the wild as his home. Looking back, Life Below Zero was more than just a television series, it was a window into a world most people could never imagine living in. Each star brought something unique to the show. Sue Aikens represented independence and survival against impossible odds. The Hailstones showed how tradition and family bonds could keep people strong in the harshest conditions. Jessie Holmes inspired viewers with his love of dog mushing and resilience after injuries. Andy Bassich reminded us that living in the wilderness demands both sacrifice and strength, but also that even those who live far from society face personal struggles. Together, their stories painted a picture of human endurance, the connection between people and nature, and the price of choosing a life outside the comforts of modern society. Today, even though the cameras have stopped rolling, these individuals continue to live their unique lifestyles, carrying on the legacy of resilience that first made them famous. For fans, the memories of watching them hunt, fish, race, and survive will always remain a powerful reminder of what it truly means to live below zero. When people watch Life Below Zero, it is easy to believe that the most dangerous part of the show is the freezing weather or the wild animals. But what many do not realize is that the filming process itself is also full of struggles. The camera crews, sound operators, and field producers face the same cold winds and icy conditions as the stars. Unlike other reality shows filmed on comfortable sets, here the production staff must carry heavy cameras while walking on frozen rivers, or set up sound equipment in the middle of snowstorms. Sometimes they even camp outside to capture sunrise or hunt scenes, meaning they are also living in extreme conditions. The crew has to be careful not to interfere with the natural flow of survival for the cast, because the show's power lies in showing real life, not staged events. Even medical emergencies are tricky, because getting help in remote areas can take hours or even days. The team works closely with the cast to prepare for emergencies, but accidents are always possible. The crew's dedication allows viewers around the world to witness life in Alaska in a raw and honest way. Without their sacrifices, the audience would never see the thrilling yet dangerous lifestyle of Sue, the Hailstones, Jessie, and Andy. Their work shows that Life Below Zero is not just about the people living in Alaska, but also about the teamwork and risks taken by everyone involved in bringing these stories to television. The success of Life Below Zero is not only in its ratings or awards but also in how it has changed the way people think about survival, resilience, and independence. Viewers from big cities, warm climates, or countries far away from Alaska are able to connect emotionally with the struggles and victories of the cast. Sue Aikens has inspired people with her bravery, proving that even when life seems impossible, courage and determination can keep a person going. Alaska, and also in a remote cabin on the river. Fishing, hunting, and trapping became the major ways he provided for himself, as he depended heavily on the land and the wildlife resources around him. On top of that, he had a team of sled dogs that were his means of transportation in the Arctic. For 20 years, he worked as a riverboat captain on the Yukon Queen, a tour boat that operated during the summer months, taking travelers between Eagle, Alaska, and Dawson City in Canada's Yukon Territory. That job kept him connected to people and gave him stability. But his other source of living was subsistence farming. Andy not only hunted and fished to survive, but he was also an avid gardener, carefully growing what he could during Alaska's short farming season. His years of experience made him a keen observer of how the environment changed. With this knowledge, he even participated in climate change research projects and served on subsistence and fisheries advisory panels and committees. As a result, when Life Below Zero kicked off in 2013, he quickly became one of the show's central figures. The Hailstone family has shown the power of unity, teaching that no matter how hard life gets, family can give strength. Jessie Holmes demonstrates adventure, showing that energy, dreams, and hard work can build a meaningful life even in the harshest places. Andy Bassich, despite his injuries, proved that recovery and adaptation are possible if someone has the will to survive. These stories go beyond entertainment, they encourage viewers to reflect on their own lives and challenges. Many fans say they now appreciate small comforts, like warm homes or easy access to food, after seeing the difficulties of the Alaskan lifestyle. The show has also left an educational impact, teaching about wildlife, hunting traditions, and the relationship between humans and nature. As time passes, the stars of Life Below Zero will always be remembered not just as TV personalities, but as symbols of survival and human strength. Their legacy will continue to inspire future generations, reminding us that even in the coldest, darkest places, hope and resilience can keep people alive. One of the reasons Life Below Zero has become so powerful is that it does more than entertain, it teaches survival lessons that anyone can learn from. At first, most viewers may think the stars of the show are simply hunters or people living off the land, but their strategies and decisions are full of wisdom. For example, Sue Aikens' ability to stay calm during the bear attack is not just about bravery, it is a reminder that panic is often more dangerous than the threat itself. She teaches us that in any crisis, whether in the wilderness or daily life, quick thinking and focus can be the difference between life and death. The Hailstones show the importance of preparation and resourcefulness. They carefully store food, make tools, and plan ahead for months of harsh weather, proving that survival depends on smart planning as much as physical strength. Jessie Holmes highlights adaptability. His decision to compete in dog sled races shows how a survival skill can also become a way to connect with community and tradition. Andy Bassich, recovering from his hip injury, shows resilience, the lesson that even when our bodies slow down, our spirit and determination can help us keep going. These lessons are not limited to Alaska, they apply to everyday challenges like financial struggles, health problems, or family responsibilities. In this way, the show reminds audiences everywhere that survival is not only about wilderness skills, but also about mindset, patience, and hope. When Life Below Zero first aired, many thought it would be just another wilderness show, but it quickly proved to be different. Unlike other reality series that focus on drama or scripted conflicts, this program stands out because of its raw honesty. Nothing feels staged, the danger is real, the struggles are real, and the emotions are unfiltered. This honesty gave audiences something fresh and meaningful, making the show stand apart in a crowded TV landscape. Viewers were not just watching entertainment, they were experiencing the real challenges of people living in a part of the world that many will never visit. This created a strong connection between the cast and the fans, as people admired the courage it takes to live in such an unforgiving environment. The show's unique style influenced other survival-based programs, pushing them to become more authentic rather than staged. It also showed television producers that audiences are hungry for real human stories, not just artificial drama. In addition, Life Below Zero helped increase interest in Alaska, leading to spin-offs and other programs about life in extreme places. Even years later, the series continues to capture attention because its themes, survival, resilience, and human strength, are universal. No matter where someone lives, these are values people respect and want to see. That is why Life Below Zero remains one of the most respected and beloved survival shows in television history.